Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We've got something really cool lined up for you today. We're going to learn some practical English for talking about bike trails.
That's going to be fun.
It is. Especially if you're a beginner, this deep dive is going to be super helpful.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to use a real dialogue to help you learn.
Right. Imagine two friends, they're chatting about going for a bike ride on the weekend.
That's our dialogue for today.
We're going to break it down so you can understand everything they're saying.
And we'll give you some tips on how to use these words in your own conversations.
Like out in the real world.
Exactly.
So let's jump right in. I'm really excited to introduce our two speakers today. We have Alex, who's thinking about going for a bike ride.
And Ella, who has some ideas for good trails.
Perfect. Let's hear what they have to say. Take it away, Alex and Ella.
All right.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, Ella. Heard you're thinking about cycling this weekend.
Yeah, I am.
Any routes in mind?
Not really. Actually, I was hoping you might have some good recommendations. I'm not really sure where to go.
Okay, got it. So, tell me, how experienced are you with cycling? We need to find, the perfect route for you.
Well, I'm a beginner. I'm looking for a scenic but easy trail.
Mm-hmm.
Something not too challenging.
Yeah, no problem. We've got tons of options for beginners. How about the Riverside Path? It's mostly flat, perfect for a relaxing ride.
That sounds good. How long is the trail?
The complete loop is 12 kilometers, but, you can turn back anytime if you get tired.
Great.
Yeah.
Are there any rest stops along the way? For a quick break or a snack?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there are several cafes and picnic areas along the riverside. You can enjoy the view while you rest.
Fantastic. Thanks for the recommendation, Alex.
No problem, Ella. I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Okay, wow. I loved hearing Alex and Ella talk about their bike ride plans.
Me too. It was a great little sneak peek into, what kind of trails are out there.
It really was. And there were so many great words and phrases they used.
Right. And we're going to go through them one by one.
Awesome. But first, can we just quickly recap what we just heard?
Yeah, good idea. So basically, Ella was thinking about going for a bike ride, but she wasn't sure where to go.
And Alex, like the awesome friend he is, offered some suggestions.
Exactly. He asked her about her experience, which is really important when you're choosing a bike route.
Absolutely. Because a beginner needs a different kind of trail than someone who cycles all the time.
Right.
Right.
And then they talked about some of the features of the Riverside Path, like how long it is and if it has places to stop.
All really important things to consider.
Okay, are you ready to dive into some of the key words and phrases?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay.
What should we start with?
Let's start with beginner.
Perfect.
So beginner is a very common word. It means someone who is just starting to learn something new.
Like Ella. She's a beginner at cycling.
Exactly. And it's important for her to choose a trail that is easy, something made for beginners.
Okay, that makes sense.
What about the word scenic?
Ooh, yes. Scenic. I love that word.
It's a good one, right? It means something is beautiful to look at.
Like a beautiful view.
Exactly. Ella's looking for a trail that is scenic, meaning she wants to see beautiful things while she's riding.
So beginner and scenic are two important words to remember.
Let's say them again. Beginner and scenic.
Beginner and scenic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, what about the word trail?
Trail.
Yeah. A trail is a path that people use for walking, hiking, or biking.
So the Riverside Path that Alex recommended is a bike trail.
You got it. It's a trail that is made for biking.
Okay. So far we have beginner, scenic, and trail. What's next?
The next word is flat.
Okay, flat.
Flat means level and smooth without any hills or bumps.
So the Riverside Trail is flat, which makes it good for beginners.
You got it. Beginners don't have to worry about going up or down hills on a flat trail.
Yeah, flat is a really good word to know when you're talking about bike trails.
Let's repeat it one more time.
Yeah.
Flat. Flat. All right. We're doing great. Now we have the word loop. Can you explain what a loop is?
A loop. I think I know this one. It's like a circle, right?
Exactly. A loop is a circular route.
So if you start at one point on a loop trail and you keep going, you end up back at the same spot.
That's it. Alex said that the Riverside Trail is a loop and it's 12 kilometers long.
So if Ella bikes the whole loop, she'll ride 12 kilometers.
And she can turn back anytime she wants.
True. She doesn't have to do the whole loop if she doesn't feel like it.
Nope.
Okay, let's review those words one more time. We have beginner, scenic, trail, flat, and loop.
Fantastic. Now let's move on to some of the phrases from the dialogue.
Okay, sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's start with, how experienced are you with cycling?
How experienced are you with cycling? That's a good question to ask.
Right, like if you're recommending a bike trail to someone.
Exactly, because you need to know if they are a beginner, like Ella, or, if they're more experienced.
It makes a big difference in what trail you recommend.
So, how experienced are you with cycling is a really good phrase to remember.
Let's say it again. How experienced are you with cycling?
How experienced are you with cycling?
Perfect. Now, what about looking for a scenic but easy trail?
Ooh, looking for a scenic but easy trail.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe, like, the kind of trail you want.
Right. Ella wants a trail that's beautiful but not too difficult to ride.
So she uses the phrase scenic but easy to describe what she wants.
Exactly. And that's a really useful phrase to know.
It is.
Let's repeat it one more time. Looking for a scenic but easy trail.
Looking for a scenic but easy trail.
Awesome. We've covered some important words and phrases so far.
We have. Are we ready to learn more?
You bet. There are still a few more key phrases we need to explore.
Okay. Let's take a quick. Oh, sorry. I was about to say let's take a break, but I guess we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, let's keep rolling.
All right. Let's do it. All right. Let's jump back into it. Remember that phrase Alex used? He said, the complete loop is 12 kilometers, but you can turn back anytime.
Oh, yeah. I really like that part. It gives you an idea of how long the ride is, but it also tells you that you have options.
Exactly. It's like saying, here's the full experience, but you can adjust it to what you need.
I think it's really encouraging for someone who might be a little nervous about trying a new trail.
Totally. So let's break down that phrase. Loop, remember? It's a circular route.
Right. So you end up back where you started.
And 12 kilometers tells us the total distance of the loop. But the really cool part is, but you can turn back anytime.
It means you don't have to feel like you have to finish the whole thing.
Exactly. It's all about having choices. So if you get tired or the weather changes or you just want to head back, you can.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off, especially for a beginner.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about the rest stops that Ella mentioned.
Ah, yes, rest stops. They're super important on a bike trail, especially for longer rides.
Yeah, they give you a chance to, take a break, drink some water, maybe have a snack.
Exactly, and they can make the whole bike ride even better.
Alex mentioned cafes and picnic areas along the riverside path. What can you do with these rest stops?
Well, a cafe is a place where you can buy food and drinks, like coffee, tea, sandwiches, pastries. It's a nice place to relax for a bit, maybe chat with friends.
And a picnic area is a spot where you can, bring your own food and have a picnic.
Exactly. Usually it's outdoors, maybe with some tables and benches, and you can just relax and eat your food surrounded by nature.
I love how Alex said you can enjoy the view while you rest. It's such a simple phrase, but it's so nice,
I know, right? It just makes you feel relaxed. Okay, so let's go over all the words and phrases we've talked about today.
Yes, let's do a quick review.
Okay. We started with some basic words to describe bike trails. Beginner, scenic, trail, flat, and loop.
Right. And then we talk about some useful phrases, like how experienced are you with cycling, looking for a scenic but easy trail, and the complete loop is 12 kilometers, but you can turn back anytime.
And of course, we can't forget rest stops, cafes, and picnic areas.
Wow. We covered a lot. I can't believe how much we learned from just this one short conversation.
Me too. It's amazing what you can learn from real-life examples.
Okay, so we talked about a lot of vocabulary, but what if we tried using these words and phrases in a different situation?
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a good way to see how these words can be used in different ways.
Exactly. So let's say you're planning a hike instead of a bike ride. How could you use some of this vocabulary?
Okay, I like this. Let's say you're talking to a friend who's never been hiking before.
All right, I'm imagining it. We're getting ready for a hike, and I want to make sure my friend has a good time.
So you could start by asking, how experienced are you with hiking?
Oh, that's a good one. So I can choose a trail that's not too hard for them.
Exactly. If they're a beginner, you could suggest a trail that's mostly flat, not too many hills.
And of course, I'd want to choose a scenic trail. Everyone loves a good view, right?
Of course. And if it's a loop trail, you could say, the complete loop is 5 kilometers, but you can turn back anytime.
Perfect. So they know they don't have to push themselves too hard.
Exactly. And don't forget about the rest stops.
Oh, yeah. We could say there are some really nice picnic areas along the trail. We can stop for a break and enjoy the scenery.
See, all those words and phrases we learned from the bike trail conversation, you can use them for hiking too.
It's cool how language can be used in different ways.
It is, and that's one of the best things about learning English. The more you learn, the more you can see how everything connects.
I think one more thing that's really important for English learners is how polite Alex and Ella are to each other. It makes their conversations so pleasant.
Yeah, I totally agree. Being polite is important in any conversation, but it's especially important when you're giving someone advice or you're asking for recommendations.
Exactly. Like when Ella asked for a recommendation, she said, I'm actually looking for some good route recommendations.
Yeah.
It's a very gentle way of asking.
It is. In some cultures, being direct can be considered a bit rude, so learning these more indirect ways of speaking English can be really helpful.
Right. And Alex was really great about, being helpful and encouraging. Like when he said, okay, no problem. We've got tons of options for beginners, or I'm sure you'll have a great time.
Yeah, he was really supportive, which can make a big difference when someone is trying something new.
It just creates a much more positive and fun atmosphere.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's not just about learning the words and grammar, it's also about learning how to use English in a way that's appropriate for the situation.
I love that. It's like we're not just learning vocabulary and grammar, we're learning about like communication styles
Yeah.
and how to be respectful in different cultures.
Exactly. It's all part of the journey.
This has been such a great deep dive. I can't believe how much we learned from just one short dialogue.
Me too. And I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to try out these words and phrases in their own conversations.
Yeah. Remember, everyone, practice makes perfect. The more you use English, the more confident you'll become.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We've got so many more exciting episodes coming up to help you master the art of speaking English.
That's all for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and happy learning, everyone.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's KAZAPP.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.